Please be advised that the following video is not safe for work.
Didn't you come up? No, you came up with the sparkle onesie idea. That was the whole entire thing. So,
So we should talk about our beautiful onesies.
Yeah, we should probably talk.
So there was a Calgary Expo. They did an after party, and it was a onesie themed, and we were like, dude, like we're gonna sweat balls at that thing in a regular onesie. And then I guess Jen and Ashley were shopping and discovered sparkle onesies, or sparkle fabric. So I get this like text, and it's like, "What color do you want?"
Yeah, and she took forever to respond, and so Jen and I were like, "We're picking this one.
This is the one that we are going with,
right?
This is it. Yeah.
And then because Rose was coming, we decided to make her one too.
Yeah. So, and then we became glitter tits.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
I think
glitter tits.
Team glitter tits.
Yeah. So we were like, everybody's gonna be all hot in their onesies, and we're gonna be all breezy in our sparkly onesies.
It's very see-through. Yeah,
gotta wear.
Yeah, so we have to wear like underwear underneath.
And I must say, it did keep drunk Jen from getting completely naked.
That's true.
It's
true. Yeah, that's always a good thing.
You only just chased a rabbit.
I just chased a rabbit and drank somebody else's tequila. It was
a good party.
That's right. Who's that? Not mine. That's not
this is mine.
So funny.
And I have to say, Spider-Man at that party had some moves.
Yeah.
He had some moves. Whoever that Spider was, he was just rocking out the moves.
But there wasn't as many onesies as I thought there were.
Yeah, there should have been more onesies at the party.
You know, I was, they did the cosplayers after party, the unofficial one on the same night, and we kind of had to make the decision of which one we were going to go to, so we decided to go to the official one. But I think that's part of why, and I wish that more people had come because it was a good time.
Yeah, it was lots of fun. It was awesome. And comfy.
But I don't know if onesies are the best thing to wear into a bar unless it's super air conditioned, because that would be hot.
Yeah.
Really like, I think about my other onesie, and it's
let's face it, we've talked about deodorant and nerds and the con floor, and then you put a onesie on them, and
it just traps the scent. Yeah. You guys are lucky because you're taller than me, because I am at the stink line. I am at like everybody's like armpit level. When I'm like walking around when I'm sitting down, I'm at like balls height too. So like
so you're like right at the pit.
I am right at the pit. Yeah, exactly. You guys are all above.
I've got like a little bit.
Yeah, but I am above. I'm at right at the stink line. It like.
We should go get you a little travel deodorant.
You can just walk around the con floor. And
there is not enough poopery to just to trap that scent inside them. Yeah. Now, if we can only do things at being at like ball eye level, when they're like right here, when I'm sitting down and they're like looking.
Well, there was a huge discussion about dancer belts in the replica popcorn the other day, because this Spidey cosplayer posted a picture with like the sausage and the peas, and everybody lost their mind on him, and he was like, I do this all the time, and I never worn a dancer's belt. He's like, I'm not going to make things uncomfortable, and I'm not wearing a G-string, and people are like, dude, like, nobody wants to see it.
That was the biggest issue, is he was saying he's not a ballet dancer or anything, so his idea of a dancer's belt is just the G-string one, but there's actually more varieties of dancer's belts out there, and I'd rather you be comfortable. So if you can get like the boxer brief one, you can get just a cup itself. Like, you don't have to get an actual belt. But yeah, him and his arguments about being, I'm not a dancer and I need to be comfortable and blah, blah, blah. And I was
Well,
like,
and then someone
no.
else chimed in about being, like, he was a police officer and he was chiming in that he never wears a dancer belt. But you know what? The thing is, like, I have a kid who's at that eye level.
Yeah.
You know? She's right there.
Your kid
she
is
does
my
not
height.
want to see your sausage. Like, no.
No, it's just not acceptable.
No.
Get your crap together.
Yeah.
And plus, a dancer's belt makes everything look nice and smooth and bigger.
And bigger, yes.
Yeah.
Hey, if
Yeah.
I could put an underwire in like guys' gotch, I would because
Haven't you told me that you
yeah,
wanted to?
I want to do that. My husband won't let
As
me.
he's giggling in the corner. He's like,
Yes, because he knows. Yeah, Olivier's just like, oh.
So our next demo is going to be
Underwire.
Underwires for your crotch. Lift and separate.
Well, and it's like then they talked about like the female camel toe too and how women avoid that by using pads and by wearing underwear and then another pair of tights like dance tights or two pairs of dance tights.
Do you want to know a really fun trick about that too? Is if you you know how we all have like the little pocket in your underwear?
Yeah.
You can even stick a like very thin piece of cardstock into that section too, and it'll actually curve and smooth. And I love my hand gestures this whole time.
Yeah, I was trying not to explain.
Yeah, but yeah, like legit, it'll curve and smooth. You won't get any like there's no feeling stopping, and you can put another.
Rose is calling
like,
what the hell are we talking about?
In my underwear.
Well, no, you put it in, and then you put a like a panty liner over it.
Oh,
and so it gives you that.
Okay,
Yeah, because I mean, like for myself, I wear underwear, I wear tights, I wear the costume, so I have so many different layers, and you just get hot and being a woman.
Yeah.
And if that area
sweaty.
gets too hot,
There's
it's not
nothing
good.
worse
And
than
you're just
swass.
uncomfortable.
Then get
Nothing worse than swass.
Yeah, getting
Swoopes.
Swoops, that too. Well,
meat
Yeah.
curtains.
I don't know.
Ham
You
sandwich.
just wanted to say that.
Butt sandwich. I have to
wanted
show you
to
that
say
Butt
later.
sandwich, bed sandwich, good times. Yeah, ham. meat
So,
curtains.
you guys, we should talk about Rose. Like,
Okay,
who's
yeah.
Rose, and why is she with
Why
us
is she
today?
here?
Why is she here?
Why is this other
Why
person
am I
here?
here?
And if you notice, she might speak a little bit different than
Yeah,
us.
that's-
Yeah, just a little bit.
It's called Speaking American.
Speaking American.
We speak
Have
English.
you guys seen Portlandia?
That's my favorite.
Keeping it weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so the
So-
reason Rose is here is I travel internationally to cons, and I decided one drunken night to buy tickets to Wizard World Portland. And a girlfriend and myself went, and she was having issues, and we needed a place to sit. And we walked up to this table, and Rose is like, "Oh, I have this seat." And then she's pulling out all this stuff from her purse, trying to help my friend out, who was ridiculous. And, and then she's like, "Come to the costume contest." And then she took us out for dinner, and she drove us back to our hotel. And a lot of people are like, "Why did you go with a stranger?" You know, you only live once.
Yeah.
You only live once.
So
Maybe.
after Wizard World Portland, I came home and we continued talking, and we talked for a full year, and then we went back to Wizard World the next year. We stayed at her house and everything else.
True.
And we just became really good friends. So it's now she comes up to Canada. This is her second time being here.
Mhm.
She's come to Calgary Expo. Last year was her first year there.
It was fun.
And you guys
Yeah.
should see
Had a
her
great time.
her Grandmaster cosplay.
Oh
It
my
is
God.
awesome.
Yeah, she
Thank
made
you.
a really
Mash
cute
up.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. And she got stopped at the border because of her hoop skirt.
Yep.
You need to talk about that,
Excuse
Rose.
me, what is this, ma'am?
Of all the things to be stopped at the border for, you should have seen the things she had in that car for us
Yeah.
Canadians.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
Rose,
Some
can you
stuff
go
in
to
the car.
Target and get me
Yeah.
deodorant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to
Yeah.
Cheesy
sauce.
bring me
Can
cheese
you
balls.
bring me
But
cheese balls?
but the hoop skirt is
But
what
the hoop
stopped
skirt
us.
Don't forget the root beer.
Oh yeah, the root beer. Yeah,
Root beer,
yeah.
What
yeah.
else did you bring us? I can't remember.
Alcohol.
So many
Alcohol.
alcohol, water,
Yeah.
just like all the things that we can't get.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it kind of just turned out that making friends at cons internationally is so much fun. And now we go to a lot more cons together. We went to Seattle, we went to Rose City, we're going back to Emerald City again.
Yeah, in March.
Yeah, so we've done other, like we're planning other trips and stuff together
Yeah.
that are not con related as well. So traveling internationally, don't be scared to talk to people. Maybe don't go with them and let them drive you places. But don't be afraid to talk to people, and who knows, you could actually end up with really good friendships.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
True story.
And, you know, let's talk about a little bit of the differences between American cons and Canadian cons. I think that's,
There's a
you
lot
know,
of
there's a lot of
differences.
differences. I had the opportunity to go to Stanley's LA Comic Con. Awesome. And met a bunch of Flash cosplayers there because Teddy was there. And I got my helm signed, and it was amazing. But there were so many Flash cosplayers, which I loved. But it was interesting because the autographs are done so differently than they are here. So here you know, buy your autograph in line, and you pick your picture, and then you get them to sign. But there you pre-purchase your autograph
True.
and your time slot.
Yep.
So I had to be there to line up between 1 and 2, and I had to wait. And then I got, you know, and then he was being overly friendly with everybody, so he was coming out hugging everybody, which is awesome because I totally got to hug him and was like, oh. Yeah, so.
What were you like again?
Yeah, because he's so handsome. I was so sad when he turned into a bad guy. I was like, it was like the end of the world. Anyway, so yeah, so that was an interesting experience. And one of the things about that venue, and I don't know if it's the same with other ones, because that is really the only one I've gone to internationally, but the main stage was in the middle of the vending hall. So it was so weird because all the panels were happening while I was standing in line to get my autograph.
Similar to Wizard World too.
Yeah,
in
so
the States.
I got to listen to the panels while I was waiting for my autograph, which was kind of sweet. But on the same hand, I'm like, that is so odd
weird.
because
Right.
we're in our cons, it's like a full different area where the panels are held in different rooms.
So then you can just like focus on what you're like wanting to hear from a panel versus all of the chaos around you.
And another thing I noticed, especially in LA, because there were so many pictures that surfaced after the fact of the con, that I didn't see any of these people in the con floor. And then when we were leaving, we noticed that there's this whole huge lobby area, and there was like
That's
a
where
billion
everybody goes.
cosplayers in there, but
That's
none
where
of them were on the
everybody goes to
con
take
floor.
photos. That's at every convention in the States.
Well,
Yeah.
it's super funny because, okay, so the first time I went to Wizard World, I didn't know Rose, so I met her, like, on the Saturday, and then we hung out a bit on the Sunday and stuff, but when we went, it was, like, a lot different, and it was weird, because they have a beer garden, and they have all these other things. You can walk around with booze in the cons, which in Canada you can't.
Yep.
But Wizard World
drinking.
is a different type of con too.
It
right?
is,
because it's more cosplay centered than anything
But that
else.
was the thing, too, is there wasn't as many costumes and stuff.
There wasn't.
During,
Not at Wizard World.
Yeah, during
but,
like the day you'd walk through and you seen more muggles than you did cosplayers. And
Yeah.
then you would
But Emerald
see-
City was different.
Emerald was
City's
different.
packed with cosplayers. Like it's
Yeah.
hardcore cosplay.
But like the first time at Wizard World, the panels were in other rooms, so you had to go like we do here. So I was like, okay, that's cool. And then the next year we went, they had totally changed the platform.
they
like, we were
screwed
lost.
everything up. It was not.
They had magicians.
They had magicians, and we were so confused. We're like, what does this have to
What
do?
does that have to do with comics?
And
I think
the
they were trying to
stage-
do it for the kids, but they were doing it in the middle of the whole floor, and so it was confusing. We were like, why is there a group
And
of
the
people?
stages were placed, like, there was, like, 3 stages on this floor. Like, they really shortened the con.
Yeah.
But it was, like, 3 stages, like, in a triangle shape. And they were so tiny. And there was only, like, a couple rows of chairs and then tape. And that was it. So they'd have 3 different panels going on. And you're like, what is happening? There's a magician on this stage. There's, like, a celebrity on this stage. And then there's a comic book artist
Yeah, it
on this
was
stage.
really confusing.
Yeah, it was really weird.
It was
And
like
then-
every time you turned your head, something different was around you.
And
It
the
was-
biggest
I
thing
don't know.
that year at the con was the beer garden. The
Yeah.
beer garden took up, like, 50% of the con floor.
That's crazy.
And I was like, that is so weird. So we opted out of going.
We're
to Wizard
alcoholics
World.
in the States. I mean, what the hell? Come on.
So we opted out of
We
going.
like to get our drink on.
So then after that crazy experience, we opted out of doing Wizard World and we went to
Yeah,
Emerald
we
City.
stopped Wizard World.
Yeah.
I think Wizard World also changed hands at that point.
Yeah, I think
And
so.
that's why they changed the format a little bit. And then we were like, whoa, what did they do?
Yeah, and then Emerald City was my first time going.
And Emerald City is owned by Reed Pop now. So,
okay.
yeah, and they do a really good job, like, coordinating everything.
Well, it was good. The only
Yeah.
thing that I noticed is they do it on different levels of the building.
Oh, it's all over.
Yeah, so it's like, it's mildly confusing if you've
It's
never been
totally spread out.
there. But there's like no cosplayers on the floors. You see very few people walking around
They're
in cosplay,
all
but they're
hanging
all
out in the
outside.
lobby.
And Breezy
and
Weezy
smoking.
and Fairchild had went to Emerald City the year that I went there. They didn't even buy passes. They just went to be on the outskirts of the con where all of the other photographers and all the other con
They can hang out there in the lobby. They don't even have to actually pay to get in. And they can just hang out with all the cosplayers.
So it's kind of like Calgary, how we have like the areas
under the teepee.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that, but there's more action outside of the con versus inside of the con. So they do vary in that way. It was really weird, but they do have more comic book artists and things like that, which is way different than what we do.
Which is awesome.
We usually have like one wall of like artists and things like that, but they have tons
of independent published comic books.
Yeah, which
is
really
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
So they do vary in that sense too. Like we get mainstream, and they kind of get more independent and things like that too, which is really neat. Like that was really cool to see.
Yeah.
So
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Emerald City this year. Yay! I'm so excited.
Do they have a headlining guest there yet?
The cast of Star Trek Discovery is going to be there.
Ooh,
so that's hardcore.
That's not the best part. Boy Meets World, Rose.
I had to think about it again.
Yeah, well, Zachary Levy's coming to Calgary. So.
He is?
Yes. Shazam!
That means I'm coming then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I love him to death.
I love
right? What was that show that he was in with the like where he was like the Chuck?
Chuck!
I love Chuck.
I know.
Yeah.
I was so sad.
That's where he got most of his fans, I think.
Absolutely.
I actually got to tour the set of Chuck. That was
the
store that he worked at. Yeah.
Stuff that she does is insane.
Yeah, she's
I know,
crazy
like
shit.
you have so many more opportunities. Like they filmed Portlandia where she lives, and they filmed.
I was
Grimm.
on that show.
Yeah, they filmed Grimm. Yeah,
and was on Grimm too.
Yeah,
see, like, she was on Grimm. Like that's some huge nerd cred.
Have you
there.
seen the guy who plays the bagpipes walking around?
Oh yeah, the Unipiper.
Yeah,
he's an awesome guy. Yeah, he always has a booth at all the conventions and when we have conventions. Yeah, and he has a bunch of products that he sells. He has like sweatshirts and posters and magnets and
he's awesome.
He is awesome, and he always like wears cool costumes for each like season and yeah, he's a cool guy. He's nice.
Okay, so here's the question about traveling with cosplay, because both of you have traveled with cosplay.
It's hard.
What are some of the pros and cons, obstacles? Would you ship your costume? Would you travel with it?
I usually travel with it.
Okay, so
or I'll take chunks of it and I'll either have her do some of it and then I do some of it and then we combine it together, because you can't really take all of it on the plane because I would have to like pay a bunch of money to check it. Well,
driving to Calgary, you were able to just bring.
Driving up here to Canada was so nice. It was easy and I could like pack my car to the tits. So it was like.
Well, we had a huge shopping list for her.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, they did give me a list of stuff I had to bring.
She was like, I've never met anyone so specific about their deodorant.
Instructions.
She's
specifically go to this place and get these items.
It's in Target. It's in the 6th row.
Yeah, it should be in the middle shelf, right next to the granola
blue box.
Yeah, and then when you flying to a con with luggage and stuff, like I flew my Bowser costume to Toronto with me. I was like the scariest thing I've ever done.
I was scared to send my Rat Queen's cosplay because I was like,
because armor.
To break.
Even though armor's good, like I have a hard shell suitcase, so my stuff was in it nicely, and I wrapped my clothes in it and everything else. So I mean, it did travel really well. It didn't have any damage, but it was like.
As you're on the plane, you're panicking.
Yeah. Well, you put so much work into everything,
and not just that, but
to get ruined.
When you travel, you have the ability to bring some of your like cosplay supplies with you, but you can't bring enough if something huge.
Right. And then where do you go to get the stuff that you need?
Which is why when we get like some of the bigger cosplayers up here, like Kamui and Yaya, they tend to bring more fabric-based cosplays.
Yeah.
Like Kamui, she's famous for her armor.
That makes sense.
But
because
she
doesn't want
brings
to
like
pack all
the Vault Dweller
crap.
to Canada with her because they can't. It's too terrifying to travel
that's what you're
with all
getting
that.
ready to do for Emerald City is like we've been talking about what we're going to wear because she has to pack stuff to bring it and what can I contribute or have on hand for her to have.
For Emerald City last year, I did Killer Frost, which is all fabric.
Yep.
And I did my Hannah, the Rat Queen, which it was just minor armor. So it was like the bracers and the shin guards. That was it. So it was like minimalistic.
Yeah, you just had your wig and other stuff, makeup.
But fabric ones are the way to go.
Yeah, when you're traveling.
Issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if it just wrecks, you just go as a mother. Just deal with it.
Has Customs ever given you a hard time about costumes?
Well, yeah.
Other
the
than
hoop
those skirts.
skirt, they were like, "What the hell is that?"
Did you have to like?
Well, I
pull
told her,
it
I
out?
was like, okay, so that's like a hoop skirt for like a cosplay, and she was like, cosplay? Oh, you dress up in costumes?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, I do. I do that. She was like, okay, I don't need to look it anymore. I was like, okay.
And
I'm clear.
The first year I went to Wizard World, I actually was dressing up as Cubone. And so I had this skull that I had made out of Warbler, and I was so scared to put it in my suitcase, so I put it on my carry-on. So it was in my backpack.
Oh no.
And so as I'm going through customs and they're x-raying it and everything, they like pull my bag out and they go through it, and I'm like, oh my god, here we go. This is gonna be interesting. And they're like,
the
TSA!
Ooh!
And I was
They're gonna
like,
make
oh
me
my
take my
God.
shoes off. What are they gonna make me do with
Security
the skull?
theater.
It was so funny because he's
So
like,
dramatic.
what is this? And luckily I had like all of my work in progress photos on my phone too, so I was like,
Oh, so you could
here,
show
blah, blah,
them.
blah, blah, blah. And so I went through everything, so it wasn't like it looks like a skull, but underneath it doesn't. So
yeah.
I mean, I was able to be like, this is just
But even
Warbler.
so, there's no law that says in the United States you can't take a skull in your suitcase. It's about flammable shit, guys. Come on.
Yeah, body parts are fine.
Body parts are fine.
Fruits and nuts, however.
I brought a kidney with me, so what?
But yeah, it was every time I went through any security or like x-ray, it was like, and I was walking around, this skull's like sitting out of my backpack a bit too, because the horn it's like poking out of my backpack as I'm walking through the airport, and I'm like, oh my god, like seriously, yeah, it was definitely, made me panic, because you never know, like, I mean...
Yeah, I think if you are going to do traveling for cons, you really should just,
Pack light.
be prepared, make a list. If there's anything that you need to do when you get there, make sure that you have a list made so that you know what you need to get.
Yeah.
And maybe do a little bit of research to figure out where you can purchase it at, or have a friend of a friend help you find stuff, That's kind of the only way to do it.
And then of
Hard
course,
shell suitcase.
you got to make
Yeah.
a friend at the con.
Yeah, you have to make friends at the con. That's
Well, you don't
very
have
important.
to, because it ends up like this.
Yeah, because you may not be as lucky as to.
That's right.
The
The rose
the
of
rose.
the world.
You want to find the roses of the world at a con.
Yeah.
That's true. It's true.
Like,
You don't
what a
always.
lucky place to sit down. Of all the places to sit
I know. Of
Yeah.
all the
It
places
was like
to
the
sit
universe
down.
was putting you guys together.
Well, it
Yeah.
was really funny because when we first started talking, I don't even know, we've fast forward through the conversation, but she ends up telling me that they're staying at this hotel, and she couldn't remember the name, and so when I actually gave them a ride back, I was like, oh no, you can't stay here. It was like in the shittiest part of town, like where murderers go to stay, and like the sign of the hotel had like duct tape across the front of it. I was like, this is disgusting. You are not
Ashley is
staying
cheap.
here.
I am so cheap.
It scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, she was so funny because
In
she
the
kept
ghetto.
messaging me, being like, "Are you okay?
Are you okay? Are all your doors locked? Windows
Did you
closed
put
and
the
locked?"
deadbolt on?
Yeah, like
seriously?"
oh my god.
I'll loan you a gun.
Yeah, exactly. We have lots of guns.
No.
No, we don't. We
No.
don't. I don't.
It was definitely funny, but I'm very cheap, so when I travel, I look for like convenience, cheap, and as long as there's a bed, a shower, no bed bugs,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Well,
Yeah,
you just
so.
need a place to sleep
Yeah.
and take a shower
Pretty
so
much
you
it.
can put more
And apparently
cosplay on.
hang out with murderers.
Yeah,
Hey.
that's all good.
Some people like adventure.
Oh.
Yeah, Mrs. Like, if I don't report back in, I'm dead. I got
The picture of the person I got into the car with.
when she was in Vancouver with Breezy
Oh my
and
God.
the same thing.
Oh my
right?
God.
Where'd you guys stay in, like Gastown, wasn't it, or something like that? Was
No,
it
we
just on the-
stayed off of, oh gosh, I don't even know I don't know Vancouver very well, but it's like the sketchiest area.
Scary.
No, like legit, we had 3 homeless shelters, like
Oh,
within
that's
under
scary.
half a block. There was,
I'm from Winnipeg.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
There
we
was
have lots of
people-
social issues in
yeah,
Winnipeg.
yeah.
Well,
it's all
and then
good.
I go with you.
Yeah. We stayed in this really nice place
And
downtown.
there's crackheads doing crack in the opening of the freaking apartment.
Downtown where?
Calgary.
Really?
Yeah.
And I go down there and I'm like, what is happening? Like,
Yeah.
And the worst of it was, is
Well,
that
crack
they,
has gotten more expensive.
Drugs are bad, people.
the worst of it was is they were stripping down in the main lobby of the freaking apartment building, and we had done skip the dishes, and then the guy comes in and I was like, go to the side door and I'll let you in there, and he's like, no, just open this one, and I was like,
There's all these great.
What? And like they're still doing their thing, getting undressed and shooting up like in their side, and he's like, just open it. I'm like, what is happening? It was so sketchy.
That's really
I
scary.
swear I have the best sketchy story.
Yeah, you
That's
did.
really scary.
Because the night before we did skip the dishes too, and I went downstairs and there
It
was
was
no
fine.
issues, and the skip guy was
It's-
like,
it's
"Well, you
just
God,
Ashley.
your food looks good," and
It's
we're
just-
like, "Yeah, sweet."
It's just Ashley.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
I swear.
tracks the sketchy.
In Vancouver, we had a constant wet spot on our hotel floor. It would not dry up. We got there and we're like, what is this? And we maybe thought because they like have the sink outside of the bathroom. Because it was so small. Oh yeah, you would have loved it. It would have been great. But
She would have been like, "I am not staying here."
That's exactly what I would have like.
"No."
Out! Rose out!
I will say though that the best we had was that Airbnb in
Oh,
Concord.
okay,
Yeah,
that was sweet.
Yeah, that was pretty.
that was
good.
the only good Airbnb experience.
That was awesome. It was because of me.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I started
No,
looking,
no.
and then I would send the links to them,
Yeah.
and then Rose is like, "I don't care as long as I get my own room," and I'm like, "Well, this one would be perfect because everybody would get their own room."
And that was perfect.
It was. I
Yeah.
even had a
We had
wig
tons of
styling
space.
area.
We had a huge table for everyone
Right.
to sit at and talk and hang
And it
out.
became like
Yep.
the cosplayer
Yeah.
center. We
Yeah.
had people show
We
up.
had the
Yep.
basement with the
Right.
TV, and we
Yep.
could all lay in the
Yep.
basement down there and watch
We
TV.
had photographers show up. We
Yeah.
had other
Yeah.
cosplayers come by to have their wigs styled. We had like 3 of
Spray.
them. Yeah.
But, yeah, we had
Freebies.
air
Yeah, we had
paint.
airbrushers come by. Like we had so much space. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
it was awesome.
Yeah.
That was great.
So I guess
Yeah.
all in all, make sure you shop around. Make sure you look at your location of where you're staying.
Yeah.
Make sure that if you're not like gonna rent a car, that there's cabs that show up and you're not standing on the street of Vancouver in a bunny suit waiting. Like
What is this, Donnie Darko? What the hell? Like, creepy.
yeah, like make sure that you plan your stuff. But
Yeah.
have fun. Just
Yeah.
have fun and be safe. Just be safe.
Be safe.
Be
Pack
safe.
a hard-shelled suitcase.
True.
Yeah.
Do some research.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Make sure you check in with friends and family.
Yeah. Send pictures of who you're getting into a car with. Just
License
FYI.
plate and phone number.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Send updated photos of you daily in case you go
Exactly.
missing.
This is what I'm wearing today. Click.
Thanks for watching.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
And if you like what you saw here, make sure you leave a comment and let us know what you want to see in future episodes. Except for that. It's not happening. Wait, stop that.